I've got a lot of love for Medusa. Honey is a savage not to be messed with. You step into Medusa with your BS? Well, the monstrous Gorgon will set her snaky weave on you and turn you to stone. Sadly, like many a popular monster, Medusa isn't real. She is a captivating work of Greek mythology. But what if she was? I can tell I'm gonna like this one. Hello and welcome back to Life's Biggest Questions, the channel that at this point will basically answer anything because every question deserves an answer, or some good old musing. I'm your host Rebecca Felgate, and today I'm asking, what if Medusa was real? Before we get into this video, I want to ask you guys what your favourite Greek legend is, or if you don't know any, that's okay because you're about to learn one. Mine is probably the legend of Pandora's box. Also, while you're down there leaving us a comment, why don't you guys hit that thumbs up button and let us know that you like our content. Also, please do subscribe if you haven't already. So, Medusa. The legend of Medusa goes as follows. Medusa was beautiful and she lured in many a suitor. It is not certain whether Poseidon, the water god, had consensual sex with her or if he raped her, but basically the pair were intimate in Athena's temple. Poseidon made off without Medusa, leaving her to answer to the goddess of wisdom and war, who punished her by turning her into a hideous beast. A head of hair made of snakes, green skin, and red eyes that turned people into stone with one look. Medusa was monstrously transformed. Poseidon, he just kinda got away with it. Medusa was banished to the island of Sarpedon, which in the modern day is somewhere in Libya, where she was eventually beheaded. So if Medusa was real, it would firstly mean that monsters are legit and gods are not, as suspected by some, fake news. Not only that, gods and goddesses have the ability to turn people into monsters. What a can of life-altering worms that is! Does this explain the blobfish? I think so. For a moment, I'm just gonna leave that whole issue aside by directing you towards our What If Greek Gods Were Real video. If not, we'd never get to old Snakeface, who is the subject of our vid. If Medusa were real, then I guess we would want to steer clear of Libya, which for most people watching, we probably have successfully managed to do our whole lives. Problem solved, although is it? In some legends, Medusa had wings, but even if she was wingless and flightless, she is a strong, powerful woman who could travel. Maybe she would eventually find her way off the island of Sarpedon, and then what then? Would she be set loose on a rampage? Well, I tell you what, there would be an upsurge in mirror sales. As we know, Medusa can turn people into stone with one look, but apparently she can't do this if people look at her through mirrors. Rather like the basilisk in Harry Potter, if Medusa was in your hood, you could still be safe to walk around if you turned corners or blind spots using a mirror. That way, honestly, she couldn't creep up on you, and that's for the best. Maybe we would invent glasses that allow us to view her without being stonified. Speaking of the stone thing, could this be in any way useful? Maybe we could befriend Medusa and utilize her services. Maybe it would be some people's dying wish to be immortalized in stone. Think about it, isn't it much cooler to be a statue? I bet scientists would want to study her to see if they could find whatever enzyme or particle magic it is that lets her turn people into mineral with a look. Although that would be dicey. If Medusa was captured and not treated well, then she could be pretty enraged, and if she escaped and decided to continue her rampage, then she could turn whole cities to stone. Imagine walking through a ghost city with people all stopped in their tracks, turned to stone. I mean, it'd be pretty cool, but also terrifying. Is it reversible? We just don't know. If she did rampage, I can imagine that country leaders would try and stop her, maybe even kill her. But the issue here is that her blood is poisonous. When Perseus killed her in Greek mythology, it is said that drops of her blood polluted the earth and gave rise to venomous snakes. It is also said that she was carrying Poseidon's children, Pegasus the winged horse and Chrysaor, and when she was slain, these creatures came into being. Who knows what would be unleashed if she was killed? Would it be a Pandora's box of bad? If I know anything about Greek mythology, the answer is a resounding probably. If leaders were smart enough to avoid plague and pestilence by not beheading Medusa, would they instead try and weaponize her for themselves? Capture her and use her as a weapon of medium destruction? I don't actually think that I'm the only one here who is starting to feel a bit sorry for Medusa. Maybe we could try and cure her of her green skin, snaky hair, and eye poison. She didn't deserve the fate bestowed upon her at all. I think a number of human rights groups would be fighting for justice. If the gods are real, then maybe they could reverse snake her. Just a thought. One final thought for you guys, but Medusa, She's basically just an allegory for female character assassination, which has been happening since long before the ancient Greek times and is still happening today. A beautiful woman turned into a monster by circumstance or persecution? A familiar story and a firm eyebrow raise from me. Where are the men turned into snakes for having sex or getting raped? Maybe that's a question that Piers Morgan can answer. Hey Piers. So, what would you guys do if Medusa was real? Is she real in some less literal senses? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Before I go though, I just want to read some comments from my video, What If Symbiotes Were Real? Glitch X Diary said, "Ha, I literally just watched Venom last night. Perfect. Yay. Venom." Beyond Tubular said, "Nickelodeon slime time, but it's a bunch of symbiotes. Ooh, that's terrifying." Godzilla 2020 Final Wars said, "What if Venom fought the Ghost Rider?" A great idea. We love a good idea. Please keep giving us ideas. We love it. Honestly, at this point, nothing's too ridiculous. So guys, don't forget to leave us a comment and also do leave us a thumbs up on this video. If you're not yet subscribed to Life's Biggest Questions, then do it. Do it now! For now, I'm your host Rebecca Felgate. I'll catch you in the next video, but until then, stay curious, stay alert, and never ever stop questioning.